Today we're going to be talking about sequence length and what we would recommend for a typical sequence. So there used to be all of this data years and years ago that you needed 15 touch points or 20 touch points on average to close a deal. And I think that that can still be true, right? Especially as you talk about closing a deal. But today we're going to be talking mostly about the optimal sequence to actually book meetings and specifically what we do at both Outbound and Talent View and kind of how we think about it. So there are different components. There's email marketing, there's phone calls, and typically LinkedIn are kind of your core three channels that you could potentially use. Number one, look at the accounts. Every single one of your accounts shouldn't get the same type of sequence. If you have A accounts, B accounts, and C accounts, your A accounts should get higher touch, more time consuming, more customized things than a B account or a C account. But on average, most of our sequences last between 2 to 3 weeks. They typically have 2 to 3 email touches, 3 to 4 call touches, and then depending on the account type, potentially LinkedIn touches as well. Once again, the better the account, the more that we care about it, the more that we're going to add in LinkedIn and customize kind of cold calls as well. So we do 2 to 3 emails for a couple reasons. Um, every single campaign we run, the best performing email is number two. It doesn't matter across industry. Like it just, this is the data that we have. So we'll do a normal email one introing. Um, and then our second email is typically just a follow up, you know, following up on my note below. Here are the quick 2 to 3 points in a shorter version. Like, is it something you're interested with? That second email always converts best. Once you get to email three and beyond, it gets way worse from a statistics perspective and the likelihood to book a meeting. So it depends on the size of your addressable market. If you have a huge addressable market, you know, I would do 2 to 3 emails and then move on to that next person. And so within that, we're also mixing in cold calls. So typically, we'll call an email on the same day or call, email, send a LinkedIn message on the same day for our most important prospects, and just keep running that out. So 2 to 3 emails, 3 to 4 calls. When you're doing your calls, we're not typically leaving a voicemail every time. We almost always leave a voicemail referring back to the emails that we're sending. And then, like I said, for our top accounts, we're also trying to connect with these individuals and we're sending videos on LinkedIn once we are connected with these individuals. So that's typically the process. We think about 5 to 7 touches over a 2 week period. And if you don't get anything, then move off of that individual for 4 to 8 weeks and then come back to them with some type of different theme. There may be some theme in your campaign that they're just not resonating with. So go through that, move on, and keep putting new people into the sequence, especially if you have a larger addressable market. But we don't run out 10 touch emails because the less people interact with your emails, the more likely you are to get sent to spam. So if they're not going to respond by email three, there's a really good chance at email eight that they're not going to respond. And then by seven or eight or five or six, they're also going to mark you as spam. So the likelihood of being marked as spam continues. And what the email providers, Google and Microsoft, don't want to see, they don't want to see you sending a bunch of people's or sending a bunch of email and nobody interacting with them. So as you think about building your sequence, they're all a little bit different. We always do day one, day three with email, typically shorter email bursts, move on, mix in cold calling, and your cold calls refer back to your emails. And then if you're doing LinkedIn, refer back to your cold calls and your emails, and also use video and try and do something unique on LinkedIn. Just connecting with someone and pitching them automatically rarely works. So on LinkedIn, we like to share information, share content, those types of things. Where an email or phone, we're kind of going a little bit more for the meeting close. So hope that helps. If you have any questions on sequences, please let us know. Um, we believe, based on all the thousands of emails that we've sent, that sending 8 emails to the same person that isn't interacting is a good way to get your domain in trouble and set to spam. So Do short little bursts. Try and get the meeting with the individual or get the information to them, and then move on. Move on to somebody new. Come back to that individual. So hope that helps. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks a lot.